The next generation of Nintendo hardware has just taken a giant leap from rumor to reality. In a groundbreaking discovery, we now have confirmed details about the Nintendo Switch 2, thanks to an early motherboard leak that has found its way into the hands of a few brave tech analysts. What they've found isn't just interesting, it might be a defining moment for handheld gaming. This isn't just a rumor mill churning anymore. The T239 chip inside the Nintendo Switch 2 is now confirmed, and with it, we get a first real look at the system's internal components. From die shots to full performance simulations, this is the most detailed and credible hardware insight we've had so far, and it comes from a real board purchased from China's equivalent of eBay for around $150. But what makes this leak so important isn't just the parts, it's what they mean. We're now able to understand just how powerful the Switch 2 might be, where it stands among modern consoles, and what kind of experiences it could deliver. The short version? It's a whole new era for Nintendo. Let's dive in. The T239 chip, finally confirmed. For months, enthusiasts and analysts speculated on the GPU that would power the Nintendo Switch 2. The wait is over. Thanks to a deep dive teardown and die shot conducted by Geekerwan, we now know the T239 is real, and we've seen it. This chip is the heart of the Switch 2, and it's far more advanced than anything in the original Switch. This new design isn't just about combining the best of both worlds. It's custom-built, not like anything else out there. While the closest GPU in terms of layout may be the RTX 2050, it's been downclocked significantly to match the power profile of a handheld device. Yet, even in this limited configuration, its capabilities are impressive. With 6 texture processing clusters TPC and 1,536 CUDA cores, this isn't some weak, mobile GPU. The Switch 2 is expected to perform on par with a GTX 1050 when docked and a GTX 750 when in handheld mode, based on simulated synthetic benchmarks. A 2021 tape-out means early plans? Another interesting detail from the die shot is the year the chip was taped out, 2021. This adds weight to theories that Nintendo initially aimed to release the Switch too much earlier than it now seems poised to launch. COVID-19 supply chain issues or internal strategic shifts may have delayed the launch, but the hardware was seemingly ready years ago. This also suggests that by the time the Switch 2 actually launches, the chip inside will be well tested and mature, likely a very stable platform for game developers. Real benchmarks, not just guesswork. Here's where things get serious. With access to the motherboard, Geekerwan and his collaborators were able to simulate the system's performance using downclocked PC hardware that mimicked the specs of the Switch 2. Games like Cyberpunk 2077, Wukong, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 were run in simulated environments to evaluate potential real-world results. What we learn is this. The Switch 2 won't compete with the PS5 or Series X, but it does push far beyond what the original Switch could ever achieve. In synthetic testing, the docked GPU performance lands just under the GTX 1050 while handheld testing resembles the GTX 750. But it's the CPU performance that's the real star, twice as fast as the PS4 in single core and over 3 times faster than the original Switch. Not just raw specs, it's about DLSS. But raw specs are only part of the story. The real magic comes from NVIDIA's DLSS, Deep Learning Supersampling, technology. The Switch 2 will likely leverage DLSS 3.0 or a custom variant to upscale resolution and improve frame rates far beyond what raw power alone would suggest. DLSS uses machine learning to enhance image quality without the full computational cost. That means the Switch 2 can render a game at a lower resolution and upscale it beautifully to HD or even 4K. If properly optimized, this could allow games to look like they're running on far more powerful systems while consuming far less power. This, in essence, is Nintendo's play. Leverage smart software to maximize limited hardware. GPU versus CPU versus expectations. To avoid getting misled, it's crucial to look beyond downclocked desktop equivalents and consider what this system is built to do. Comparing a customized mobile SoC to a 5-year-old desktop GPU misses the point. Yes, the CPU is modest by modern desktop standards. Yes, the GPU isn't breaking any records. But for a hybrid handheld console, this represents a massive jump in performance. More importantly, it does so with modern architecture, advanced upscaling, and efficiency as its focus. For instance, the CPU, when compared to Intel's i7-4700HQ, or even the A12 chip found in iPhones, holds its own in multi-core and single-core performance. This means better AI in games, faster load times, and more detailed simulations, all within a power envelope suited for handheld play. What this means for real games. So, will Tears of the Kingdom 2 look better? Will Metroid Prime 4 finally run at a stable 60 FPS? The answer is very likely yes. First-party Nintendo titles have always been expertly optimized for the hardware they run on. With DLSS and a customized chip built from the ground up, expect massive leaps in image quality, smoother gameplay, and support for more demanding third-party titles. Games that previously had to rely on cloud streaming might now run natively. This alone would change the landscape for portable gaming. Imagine Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed Mirage, or Elden Ring running directly on the Switch 2. The truth about console comparisons. One recurring issue is people comparing the Switch 2 directly to the PS5 or Xbox Series X. That's a flawed comparison. Those consoles are plugged into walls, use 200 plus watts of power, and have active cooling systems the size of small PCs. The Switch 2? It's a hybrid console you can put in a bag. It's meant to balance portability, power efficiency, and performance. Think of it more like the Steam Deck, only with Nintendo's ecosystem and NVIDIA's DLSS magic. That doesn't mean it won't impress. In fact, the combination of efficient hardware and smart software could make the Switch 2 feel faster in certain games than bulkier consoles, especially when developers optimize titles for it. Final thoughts. The Switch 2 is shaping up to be a major player, not because it beats the competition in raw specs, but because of how it balances design, efficiency, and innovation. NVIDIA and Nintendo seem to have crafted a chip that stands apart from anything else on the market. While the exact performance numbers may shift slightly between now and launch, what's clear is that Nintendo fans and portable gamers have a lot to be excited about. We still need to wait for Nintendo to officially turn the console on and show us what it can really do. Until then, the technical details we now have give us the clearest view yet of what's coming, and it's looking better every day. Stay tuned right here at Technology Review for the next wave of hands-on analysis, game tests, and real-world performance insights when the Switch 2 becomes official.